Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hello and welcome to, we're calling this the 6.5 podcast, like a halfway point or an intra-week podcast, because last week we had Malcolm Pally on and we're going to get, next week we're going to have Alan Steele on. But we thought we'd do a little intra-week one, a shorter podcast, because we haven't actually talked about the market specifically for probably 2 weeks. And actually, the last 2 weeks has actually been quite blue, hasn't it, Kenny? So we thought it was worth just doing a little intra-week podcast. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But first of all, as I mentioned, we had Malcolm Pally on from Coincilium last week, and we spoke about Bitcoin and crypto. And I believe you've actually gone and bought some, Kenny. So he's obviously had an effect on you.
Yes, I must admit I was quite taken aback by some of the statements that Malcolm had made. He sent us a load of links. Some of these links we've been posting up in the Twitter account, but there's another few, and I've been learning away, and I decided to take the plunge. So the easiest way for me was to open up a Revolut account. Mm-hmm. It's just like a bank account. You can deposit money in, and you can exchange it for Bitcoin. So that's what I did. And I'm now the proud owner of 0.046 Bitcoin. So it's a starting place. It's somewhere to start for me. But I'm cool. I'm quite interested now. And obviously, I never understood that the actual Bitcoin had a limited amount of coins in issue. And it's due to half again this year, May 2020. So there's a decreasing supply of these coins. So I think I'm going to treat it as a wee a savings bank and just stick 100 quid, 150, 200 quid in there every month.
And if there's that's cool.
Yeah, just go for that.
I must admit I haven't actually bought any yet. I've just been a little bit distracted with work and stuff. But that's amazing that you've converted like that. So maybe I should look at it a bit more seriously. I probably should. Yeah,
well, the Bitcoin price is just about touching $10,000. Yeah. So I think that's seen as if it breaks through $10,000, I think it could possibly go on a run, but we'll leave that to the experts. I'm certainly no expert in Bitcoin.
Yeah, sure. Cool.
But no, the markets have certainly been interesting, and obviously gold last week, it didn't just trickle over $1,600, it smashed through it. Yeah. And it's now sitting about $1,650 an ounce. Mm-hmm. So it looks prime for a big move as well. And obviously that has a knock-on effect in some of the stocks.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you think it's moved then? Because, I was reading some articles and it's suggesting that this coronavirus is affecting sort of US businesses and causing fears. And the article, well, actually I saw two articles that were suggesting that coronavirus is really helping to push gold up. Yeah,
I think it's that and a combination of this credit and recession fears as well. It's great if you're a producing mine. It's absolutely fantastic. So we'll just keep an eye on the gold price, see where it goes. But some of the stocks in the last couple of weeks, there was Sirius Minerals. It was up 300% at one point, maybe even more. Great Western Minerals. It was up a couple of 100% as well. There's been some wild rises in the last couple of weeks. Yeah. There's been quite a bit of movement in some of the stocks that have got licenses in Australia, and two in particular caught my eye this week. ECR Minerals come out with a general business update across all their licenses in Victoria.
I saw it had moved up a little bit actually.
Yeah, it's kind of it was sitting down about 0.5, 0.6 maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's just quietly crept up. It's about 0.8, 0.85. They come out with a sort of general business update, particularly to do with Victoria. Now, Victoria is the place to be for Australian gold at the moment. There's deals going on all over the place. Mm-hmm. And I personally, I just think it's a matter of time before ECR get a deal in some of their licenses. They've got a massive footprint in Victoria. They've got five licenses, but the main focus seems to be in Creswick and Bailison. Now, the Creswick licence is just north of the Ballarat mine, and it's on the same sort of gold mineralisation trend. So, to me, it's a no-brainer for one of the bigger companies to come in. And the Bailison, again, the position of Bailison, it's near the Fosterville gold mine, which is one of the highest grade producing mines in the world. Mm-hmm. You've got the Costerfield gold mine. And just to the north of Bailison, you've also got Newmont with a massive license as well. So Bailison's just sitting in a perfect location. And like I say, I won't be surprised in the next couple of months, if one of these companies comes in and does a deal for some of the ECR tenements, because it's everybody else in that region is getting deals. So it's probably going to happen.
Great. Okay.
My opinion.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's positive.
Yeah, the other one as well that was moving was Cobra Resources.
Yeah.
So they've only just come back to market. We talked about them a few weeks ago.
Yeah, because they were suspended for a long time, weren't they?
Yeah, they were completing the reverse takeover of, I think it was called Lady Alice Mines, which really comprises the Rodina Gold project and a copper project that they've got as well. But the main focus just now is the Rodina Gold project. Now, Rodina already has a JORC compliant resource of about 210,000 ounces of gold, and last week they came out with an announcement, and it was the results of a soil sampling program. And although it's quoted in parts per billion, a few people had picked up on Twitter, the grade's terrible, blah blah blah, it's parts per billion they've quoted, but it's not. Soil sampling is always quoted in parts per billion, and anything above, some places anything above 10 or 15 is considered anomalous. So most of the samples that they quoted were 20 and above, right up to about, I think, 95 parts per billion. And they also re-assayed some historical cuttings, and they got some really, really good intersections. Now, I actually spent a long time during the week in Cobra, and through my Stirling Bridge Resources account, I put out a tweet. It's more like a thread, and I think there's 22 tweets in that thread, and I posted up all the historical data intersections. I mean, there's several 100-metre plus intersections. It looks really exciting prospect. The actual calcrete, now calcrete is like Mother Nature's concrete, and it's an indicator for gold. Now, this calcrete anomaly is 65 by 20 kilometres wide. So it's a massive, massive area.
Yeah.
And I think only like 20% of that area has been explored by obviously Cobra and then the previous owners of the project. So I think I had to laugh. It could be true, but I'm on Telegram, and on the chat board there, I think it's called Cobra Resources, and it's Greatland Gold's little cousin. So that's the way people are thinking about it.
Wow,
It's Greatland Gold's little cousin. Yeah. So I think watch this space. They've got some more results coming in the next 4 or 5 days. Okay. They're cashed up. So, and the good thing as well about Cobra is that the drilling contractors have taken, I think it's a third of the costs and shares. So, I really like Cobra. It's a good play.
Great. So, I mean, a lot of the stocks that have moved then, are they more gold related then? And that would kind of make sense if gold's obviously had a good little push recently. Yeah, definitely. But it's been a good week in the market. There's been a lot of blue, There's been a lot of blue. Yeah, I mean, I've been looking at, and I have to mention it because I'm invested in it, Thor Mining. I've been looking at all the blue and just looking at that being, well, not doing anything. But I suppose its time will come. I mean, it's not, strictly speaking, massively focused in gold. So that's maybe why it's missed out on some of the blue that we've seen in the last 2 weeks. But yeah, we're still waiting on the Kapunda results, aren't we, really, which is the copper.
Yeah, it's copper and gold.
And potential gold, yeah. Yeah,
because there was historical intersections at Kapunda as well. I think it was 100 metres of 3.6 grams per tonne. So I think they're trying to repeat those results or anything anywhere near that would be fantastic. But no, there's been interesting things as well. There was one that caught my eye. I quite like Two Shields Investments. It's a tech play. I've mentioned it before.
Yeah, we talked about that before, yeah.
Yeah, they've got WeShop, which is an up-and-coming social e-commerce platform. But the announcement that came out this week was from their other investments, a company called Brand Shield, and they do like brand protection, online fraud protection, things like that. Yeah. And they came out with a new product called Election Shield, and it's basically to hunt down. It's basically targeted at social media. So any of these fake videos, fake news, or anything that's this software, this AI-based software goes out, hunts these down, takes them down. So I thought it was quite good timing because obviously you've got the US elections coming up. I mean, there's obviously elections all over the world, but the amount of money that the Americans spending, I think it's 1.6 billion they're spending on incredible. Social media alone.
Yeah, and we're living in a world that there's all this fake news is very prominent at the moment, isn't it? You see a lot of dodgy articles coming up on various social media sites. It's very much in the focus. So that sounds like a really good idea, that.
Yeah, well, on the back of this, I've actually, it caught my eye and caught my attention that much. I've emailed the Chief Executive Officer of Brandshield, and hopefully we can get a reply and try and get him on the podcast to explain it a bit more, because it's, some just as soon as I seen that, I went, no, that really floats my boat.
Yeah,
how they progress it. Well, that's if we can get the guy on, we can have a chat with him. But no, it's been an interesting couple of weeks, and I'm really looking forward to next week.
Yeah, it has been good. It's always annoying when you see a lot of blue and it's perhaps not the ones that you're into, but it's still positive to see the money coming back to that sector anyway. You can't be upset about that.
Definitely not.
But I just wanted to mention Sirius Minerals again, because we spoke about that a couple of weeks ago, about the offer from Anglo American at 5.5 being quite low, and obviously people not being very happy about that, investors. But the latest, from what I understand, is that there's a lot of unhappiness about that, and you've got big asset management companies and hedge funds who are effectively positioning themselves to vote against that price of 5.5. So you've got Oddy, I think is how you say it, or Oddy Asset Management, recently converted its derivative position to shares, and basically wants to use those shares to push for a higher takeover price, and they're saying they'd be happy to settle for 7p. And I also read that Sirius have got roughly maybe 85,000 small shareholders, mostly local people in the local area, who are obviously not happy as well. And you've got two other big hedge funds, one called Jupiter Asset Management, the other one called Polygon. And I just wonder, we're going to find out in the next couple of weeks, I think, really how it goes. But it does seem like the general consensus is people are not happy. They think the board has under-delivered for a long time. And we'll see what happens. Maybe the offer will get rejected, but I don't know. I mean, Anglo American are saying that they're saying it's a fair offer, and considering that they say that Sirius needs about $3 billion US to progress the project. But it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, you see these sort of shareholder revolts, and it's just interesting to see how it will end up, really. I hope for the shareholders that they do get a higher price, because I do think it's worth a lot more than actually Anglo have offered at the minute.
Yeah, but I suppose the danger is if Anglo say bugger it and walk away. Well, does that leave Sirius? It's a balancing act. It's
that's the problem, isn't it? Yeah, you might end up shooting yourself in the foot. Yeah, and you lose it all, and the company finishes. Yeah, it's interesting times.
We'll see what next week's instalment brings.
Exactly.
With Sirius.
Yeah.
Just on another note, the Twitter account. It's doing rather well, Mark.
Yeah, the Twitter account. Yes, over 500 followers now. So thank you very much, everyone, all of our listeners who have followed us on Twitter. And if you'd like to follow us, if you don't know our handle, it's at Market Musing. That's on Twitter. But yeah, we're very grateful for people to follow us, and we hope that you enjoy listening to our musings.
Yeah, well, I think obviously the two interviews that we've done with David Price of Rockfire Resources and then Malcolm Powell of Coincilium, it was certainly picked up a lot of traction with those two podcasts. So on that note, we've got one lined up for next week, Mark.
Yes, as I mentioned before, yes, we should have Alan Steele on next week, the asset manager. Very much looking forward to talking to him. We can hopefully ask him about what his opinion is on the gold move, and also on coronavirus, with it being quite in the front pages recently. Yeah,
looking at his history, he's quite outspoken, so it should be.
Oh, okay.
It should be an interesting conversation, and he's also Scottish, so it'll be good to get my first Scottish.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Guy on. I'll feel more relaxed. So I will. But no, it's been good to catch up. It's late on Sunday afternoon. I had kids football this afternoon, so it was it was typical Scottish weather. It was sun, it was snow, it was hail, it was rain, and it was wind. So the boys get beat 7-4. But it's a good game. It was a good game. So I was glad to get it played, because the weather's been terrible here, and we've not had a game for 3 weeks.
Oh,
so it was
really?
Just
oh, okay. Yeah, we've had a couple of bad storms, haven't we? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to get them playing again. So, that's my Sunday. So I think we just.
I think that's good for an intra-week one, and thank you for listening, and tune in next week when hopefully we will have Alan Steele on the podcast. Thank you.
Yep, that's great. Thanks, Mark.
Cheers, Kenny. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.